Okay, so we're going to get started now. So again, thank you for joining us. My name is Brian Kaczynski. I'm with Zinc 30. We're going to take the next 45 to 50 minutes and discuss the 5 steps to jumpstart your business's social media. After that, I hope to have some time to take some questions and we'll get going here. So jumping right in, the top 5 things that we're looking at here are goal setting, selecting a platform, measuring the effectiveness, messaging and content, analytics and tracking. So those are the 5 steps that we're going to be looking at today. Just a little bit about Zinc 30 and what we do. Zinc 30 was started in 2010. We are a marketing strategy company, so we help our clients create a marketing plan and then execute that plan. Over the past 9.5, 10 years, we have serviced over 80 clients, mostly in the B2B space, but some B2C as well. We've worked with small companies and startups all the way up to large corporations. We're agnostic in terms of channel. So we do traditional and digital marketing. So that's everything from branding and logo design, collateral material, mailers, to websites, email marketing, obviously social media. So that's a little bit about us. Let's take a look at where we're at in terms of social media. So one real important stat to think about here as we're covering all of this is that customers that are looking for brands, direct-to-consumer customers, they are 57% the way to their buying decision by the time they make contact with the brand. For business-to-business transactions, that's even higher. That jumps to 72%. 71% of consumers that had a good social media experience are also likely to recommend that brand to others. 37% of consumers find purchasing inspiration through social media. And 50% of consumers say that seeing user-generated content increases their chances of buying product through a brand's social media. So the fact of the matter is that people are on social media, they're using it, and they're using it to purchase your products and services. So what's the first step here? Number 1 is goal setting. In order to be successful in your social media, you really want to set your goal and set your bar, really have a direction where you're heading, and have your eye on the prize there at the end. So you have to ask yourself, what are you looking to achieve through your social media? We see 5 different steps here that we would like people to achieve when setting up goals in their social media. That can either be brand awareness, improving customer loyalty, building a community of advocates, generating leads, or direct sales. Now, generally speaking, when a company is setting up their social media, they're not exclusively doing just one of these things. It's generally a mix of these things. But there is one that kind of takes precedence over everything else. For example, here at Zinc 30, we generally use our social media presence for generating leads. So we don't do a lot of brand awareness. We're not on a ton of platforms. We know specifically that most of our customers and our customer base is on LinkedIn, and we're doing that to generate leads. So then we're specifically pinpointing our leads and reaching out to them in order to make a phone call, to set up a phone call with them. We've worked with other brands in the past that are they just want a brand presence, a brand awareness of their product, so that people, when they're searching for them online or trying to find out information about the product, can kind of casually see what the brand is about and the type of experience that they're going to get. So again, there's a mix of things that go on here, but your brand really on social media should have one strong voice in one of these areas, and you should set your goals around that type of voice. So when setting goals, we like to say that you want to use SMART goals. So those are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So as an example, again, I said that we at Zing 30 here use LinkedIn for our to generate our leads. So we're specifically reaching out to individuals to set up a phone call to see if we're a good fit with each other. We know that we get about a 10% return rate on our reach outs. So that means that 10% of our reach outs, we actually make a connection with somebody. And then from that 10%, our ability to set up a phone call is also, again, 10%. So for every 100 reach outs, we make 100 connections, and then we make one phone call. So if we wanted to make, say, 4 phone calls, set up 4 phone calls, we know that we would have to do 400 reach outs in order to make that. So again, it's specific. We have a specific goal, 4 phone calls. It's measurable. We know that 4 phone calls takes 400 reach outs. It is attainable. That is a goal that we can hit within a week or a month. It's relevant to our business, and it's timely. We can put a time frame on it and know that we can achieve that goal within our time frame. Selecting a platform. So now that you've set your goals up, you really need to meet your customer where they're at. There's so many different social media platforms, and everything is so fragmented that you could really spend a lot of time just posting to every single social media platform and not really get anywhere from it. So the first question is, who is your target market? And then where is your target market? So who's your target market? Well, the easiest way to find your target market first is to create a persona. A persona is kind of a generalized view of your customer, right? So you can make up an avatar for your customer, and you may have more than one. We could spend a whole lot of time on creating personas and hitting a target market, but we're just going to run through this pretty quickly here. So you need to ask yourself, what problem are you solving for this target market of yours? If you are a car dealership, are you selling people cars, or are you just selling people a way to get from point A to point B? In most cases, people have a car out of necessity. They're just trying to get from point A to point B. So you're really solving transportation for them. You need to ask yourself, what is a trigger event to the problem you're trying to solve? So again, we'll go back to the case of a car company. If you're a dealership and somebody's looking for a new car, maybe their old car broke down. Maybe they were in an accident. Maybe they're a middle-aged couple and they're a younger couple and they're just starting a family. So they need to upgrade from a small sedan to a larger minivan. Maybe it's somebody who just graduated from college and they're looking to purchase their first car on their own. So there's some sort of event that says they're in the market for this product. What is the demographic of your target market? So the demographic is very large based, right? So this is income level, this is age, this is region. If you're in Chicago, are you looking to sell to somebody directly in Chicago, or can you go nationwide with your product? Or is it maybe just something based in Illinois? Then there's psychographic. And this is a lot more narrower than demographic. This is the emotion of your buyer, the emotion of your target market, right? So again, let's go back and look at our couple that's purchasing a car because their family's growing. They're looking for something that is safe, something that has enough cargo space, something that they can get their kids around in. So that's more of a psychographic view of what it is they're looking to buy. It's an emotional trigger. So once we kind of understand who our target market is, we have to see where is our target market. So we're going to look at the major social media platforms. Facebook, YouTube, yes, it is a social media platform. Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then industry-related platforms. For instance, let's say you're a home stager or a designer, you might want to look at the platform Houzz. Or if you deal with a lot of babies or weddings, you might want to look at The Knot or their sister company, The Bump. These are kind of alternative platforms where your target market is going to be at. So this graphic I love. This was put together by the Pew Research Center in 2008, and this really takes a demographic look at the breakdown of all these major social media platforms. So you can see here, if you're looking to hit a target that is in the age range of, say, 18 to 29, you're going to be looking at Instagram, YouTube, Facebook as the highest level social media platform that those people are on. And you can see how this changes with either income level or education, sometimes even location. So this is really informative in looking at where you want to communicate with your target market. So next, we want to look at measuring effectiveness. This is step 3. And when we look at measuring effectiveness, we want to set KPIs. So your KPIs are tied specifically to your SMART goals. So then this would be something like, I have a goal of increasing my likes on Facebook. Well, a KPI that would be set with that, you'd want to look at not just your likes, that would be your immediate KPI, but also engagement. Because if people aren't engaged in your posts or aren't seeing your posts, then chances are they're also not going to like it. So as your SMART goal of increasing your likes, your next goal under that, measured through your KPIs, is going to be engagement. And I should actually say what the acronym for KPI is. That's key performance indicators. So it's just a way of how we look at the way that we're measuring things. So now we get to messaging and content. This is step 4. And really, I think this is where the meat is. When we look at messaging and content, we look at post types, content mix, content calendar, and posting. So content and messaging post types. When we say post types, we're talking about the different types of posts that you can do within social media, right? So anything from just a text to images or video, maybe there's a link. So a couple interesting statistics around these. 30% of consumers like links that lead to more information. 18% of consumers prefer graphics and images. 17% would like to see a produced video. And I think this is what is really interesting, that 74% of consumers share video content from brands on social media. So even though the consumers polled here didn't immediately say that they really enjoy seeing video, their actions are saying that they are. 75% of consumers sharing video is a ton, and by far video runs away with the engagement rates. Video gets 85% more engagement than any other type of post type within social media. Hence the popularity of YouTube. So what type of posts then are getting the most action? It's happiness. Happiness sells. People love happy posts, very emotional based posting. So we can see a quick breakdown here that 25%, by far the most, love the awe factor that we say in posting. And you know, that's like your cute and cuddly stuff, right? So like puppies and babies, right? Those are always the things that get the most engagement and get that real awe factor. But then again, that's followed up with more very happy emotion, laughter, amusement, joy. The emotional aspects that don't get a lot of engagement, things like anger, empathy, surprise, sadness. Those may not be negative within and of themselves, but they can lead to unhappy emotions, which then again decreases the likelihood of engagement. So when you're creating your content, you definitely want to include emotion, and you definitely want it to be happy. So what type of content is there, right? I mean, you can post a video, you can post an image, you can post just text, right? But there's a whole slew of other types of posts that you can do. And some of these aren't necessarily just social media. Some of them are larger content ideas, and this comes from HubSpot. But these are all great ways to engage your audience, and also great content to be pushing through social media, right? So let's take, for instance, a blog, right? You write an article on a blog, you can then take that blog and post it through your social media channels, right? So it's going through Facebook, right? Maybe there's a video component that goes along with it. It's going on YouTube. You can share an Instagram post about it. They say for every piece of content that is self-produced, that you should be able to get 33 different social media posts out of that. Now, granted, that obviously doesn't mean everything, right? You're not going to just have one image that you can get 33 different posts out of. But if you're writing an ebook or you're doing a case study, those are all things that you can pull tidbits out of to add to your social media. So to continue with message and content, now we're looking at the content mix. And this is going to be what type of posts you want to use as in subject matter, and how you should be using those. So 60% of your posts should be curated, meaning that these are items that you find but did not produce yourself. So it could be a headline from the news. It could be an article from a trade publication. It could be information from one of your vendors about a specific product that you sell. Things that you're finding that are relevant and have impact on your business and with your customer that you think your customer needs to know about. The other 30% of your posts should be original content. This is content that you produce yourself, right? So a self-produced video, maybe about a new product, or an infographic about how your services work. it could be an ebook, could be a video. Again, things that actually are coming from you and you're creating. Then the last 10% is promotional. This is your actual sales, right? So this is, Black Friday sale, 50% off. This is buy one, get one free for Memorial Day. Whatever that might be, you only want to include it 10% of the time. We've actually seen engagement drop when promotion begins to creep over that 10% mark. Customers really get turned off in both environments, in B2C and B2B. So keeping this content mix is a great way to keep your customers engaged and informed without continuously trying to sell them something. Continuing with messaging and content, now we come to the content calendar. And honestly, of everything we're talking about, I think the content calendar is the most important part of everything. This is where you actually schedule your social media posts. And I'm going to give you an example here. This is an example of a content calendar that we use. This is the setup that we use. So we'll go through the entire year and tease out the big dates, right? Say we have a large convention coming in July, right? And then we also want to prep for the holidays because we have a lot of business around then, right? We put those large items on our calendar. And then from that, we plan out every single post that we're going to do every month. And we generally work a month before. So, we're looking right now into February and what we're going to be posting for February. So you can see here that we have the date, we have the platform that we're going to put this on. We have the comment. So the comment of, say if we're putting on a piece of content, right? Say it's like an ebook or something or a blog. This would be the comment that we would put on after we link to the blog. We have the title of the blog. We have the content itself. We have the link to it. We have the hashtags that we've created. And then we have an image to go along with it. Plain text posts get the least amount of engagement of any post. So you really want to make sure that you're including some sort of image or a video or something graphical with every post that you put on. Then you can see we just keep moving down the list. So, the week after, we're posting to all of our different platforms. Again, we create our comment, we create our title. We're actually going to do a video, so the link will go back to YouTube. We create our hashtags, and we won't need an image because it's a video. So literally, we're planning out through the entire month exactly how much we're posting, when we're posting, and where we're posting to. This really takes a lot of guesswork out of posting to your social media. It eliminates a lot of the stress because you're not frantically running around thinking at the last minute, oh my gosh, what am I going to post? How am I going to post it? I don't have an image to put with this. Now you have all these things planned out. And this doesn't mean that you're not posting something spontaneous when something spontaneous happens. You still do that, but these are more of your larger rocks. These are your bigger things that kind of all run together and kind of create a narrative and a story for your customer. So again, we take the example that say we have a large trade show in July. We know we can plan for that, right? So we can start in April letting our customers know that we're going to be at this trade show and this is the booth that we're going to be at. And here's hotel information if they'd like to book their hotel. Here's the best direct flights. Here are tips for walking around the convention center. This is where the convention center is located. Here's parking. You can plan all these things out in advance. So over time, week after week, you're supplying your customer with more information as to how they can see you at this event. So you can see where scheduling really, really has some real power to it. along with the content calendar, you know, the question that we always get is, how many times should I be posting a week or on a certain platform? Generally, with Facebook, we say 3 to 10 times a week. Um, on Twitter, it should be about 5 times a day. On Instagram, roughly once a day. And then on LinkedIn, 2 to 5 times a week. You know, we like to say, especially in a business to business environment, as long as you're posting in general twice a week, then you're in pretty good shape. So, you know, that roughly leads to about 8 posts a month, which, if we go back to creating our own content, you know, you create a larger piece of content that you can pull 33 different pieces of information out of, 33 different posts. You know, that's content that will generate for a while and will give you a couple months worth of content. So moving on. In posting your content, you kind of want to look for 4 different things. First, you want an engaging title. And this is a great graphic here from our friends over at Backlinko, kind of showing you how to set up an engaging title here. They've got the format. So how are you going to do it? Is it a list? Is it an infographic? Is it strategies? Is it facts? Then you want an emotional hook, right? Something that will kind of inspire your target a little bit. It's amazing, it's powerful, it's unreal, it's shocking, right? Then the content type, you know, is it images, is it pictures, is it strategies? And then finally, your subject, right? What is it that you're actually talking about? It's kind of the key to building an engaging title. Your content, again, should have that emotional hook, right? Emotion is what sells. It's happiness. There needs to be something there that is inviting the target in to relieve some sort of emotion. Your information should be compelling. You're an expert in your field, and your customers are already looking at you as an expert. So give them the information that you have over your years of experience. And again, make it visual. Text posts just do not perform well. Add in a visual component to whatever it is that you're posting on. So making it happen. You want to make sure that you represent your brand well. You want to set a tone for your social media. Stay consistent within that tone. Make sure you're delivering a message, you're being informative, you're helping out whoever it is your audience is. And then don't sell. This is not a hard sell. Every post should not be just sell, 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 buy, 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 buy. It really kind of turns off the customer and will lead them to tuning you out altogether. Still with messaging and content, platform management. If you're on more than one social media platform, you really want to find a platform to help you manage that, right? So a platform like Hootsuite or Social Sprout are 2 platforms that we highly recommend. These platforms will allow you to bring in all of your different social media profiles into one space, and you can actually type out your posts and schedule them right from that platform. And then that platform will automatically post them on the time and day that you have preset. So they help you schedule. So taking your content calendar, you can add that directly into the management platform in order to take care of your posting for you. So then you can schedule all of your social media for a month within a couple of hours and let it run for you. However, that doesn't mean you should stop listening though. Listening is key. So you may pre-write all your posts, you may schedule them all up, they may all go out automatically, but the key after that is to pay attention, right? And listening isn't just watching your feed to see if somebody messages you. Listening is also watching your customers' feed. You know, maybe they won an award, maybe they had a huge win. You should be commenting on that and congratulating them on what a great job they did. You should be watching your competitors to see what it is that they're doing as well. You should also respond. So I'll ask you to take a step back to listen. A great tool to help listen is also Google Alerts, right? So you can set up an alert for, say, your customers or your competitors or specific events and be emailed every time those things are mentioned, every time Google finds them. So then again, this helps you respond. And response, again, is not just is always direct response, right? It could be an innovative way of thinking about an event that happened. Funny instance happened here in Chicago over the summer. We actually had a alligator was let loose in one of the ponds in the park. And for like 2 weeks, the city went crazy over this alligator that they named Chance the Snapper. And I saw a lot of really innovative retailers that were making shirts and had all sorts of alligator paraphernalia that they were selling in response to this event that happened. So, you know, it's not just direct response. It can be responses to what is going on around you. Now, number 5, this takes us to our last step, and this is analytics and tracking. You want to make sure that you're tracking your progress. You want to use your platform analytics or a third-party analytics. So we'll take a closer look at what this is. So tracking your progress. So this is a screenshot of one of our customers that we were working with a couple of years ago. Again, a car dealership. And you can see here that they had pretty good engagement with their posts as they were going out pretty much daily. And then all of a sudden, we put out one post and saw a huge bump in the reach of that post. Now, if we weren't paying attention, if we weren't tracking these things, we would have never noticed that huge spike within our social media. We were paying attention, we did see it though, and we understood that because we were actually talking about a specific person at the dealership within that post, that resonated with our customers. They actually liked learning and seeing how the employees were helping customers and what they were doing in order to fix a car or sell a car. And from there, we actually retooled some of our social media to feature the employees even more, and really led to a huge increase in the amount of traffic that we saw. But if we weren't tracking that, if we weren't analyzing what we were doing, we never would have realized that. So how do you actually analyze and track? Well, you can use your platform analytics. Every platform is going to have its own analytics built right in. So as an example, this is a snapshot of Facebook analytics, Facebook Insights. And you can see here that built right in, they give us some great information. We can see how many actions happen on a page, what the page views are, page likes, the reach, the post engagement, videos, all really good information, but again, specific just to Facebook. Where we really see some powerful things is in third-party analytics. Again, something like Hootsuite or Social Sprout. This is a screenshot of Social Sprout, and you can see here within the screenshot that this is looking at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This shows all the activity over all of those platforms in one spot. So they don't have to go to, this particular customer doesn't have to go to all the individual social media platforms to see how they're performing. they can get a great overview of their entire social media strategy right here within this dashboard. So you can see the number of impressions that they have, the number of engagements that they have, and then the total number of clicks. And this is just a real small look at some of the reporting, but shows you some of the power that these third-party platforms have, not just in scheduling and posting for you, but in terms of really letting you know what your social media is actually doing and how it's performing. So, in conclusion, the key takeaways with our social media is we need to set goals. We need to talk to our customers where they're at. You need to schedule. And again, if you're going to take anything away, I think this is the biggest one. Schedule, 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 schedule. Track your activity and change it up. If something's working or it's not working, go away from your plan, change it up, try something new. The best thing about this is it's all up to you. As long as you're planning and you're staying on top of what you're doing, you'll have all the information that you need to actually make informed decisions around your social media. So, just to leave you with a couple of resources. I talked about it a couple times, but I want to make sure I put it up here. Hootsuite. I think Hootsuite is an amazing resource. It's really inexpensive. I believe they also have a free version. You can put all of your social media profiles within Hootsuite. You can schedule all of them, all of your posts, and you can send them out all through Hootsuite. And Hootsuite will automatically do the posting for you. You can also listen through Hootsuite as well, which is fantastic. They'll set up feeds where you can see every time that you're mentioned within social media. Social Sprout. Social Sprout, it's very similar to Hootsuite. It's a little more robust. The investment's a little greater, but the amount of information that you can pull out of Social Sprout is just absolutely incredible. They really, truly are a fantastic platform if you're using multiple social media accounts. Also, even if you're not using their platform for management, they have a huge library of free resources. So you can really take a deep dive into social media, into any platform, and really understand it on a lot deeper level. They've got a bunch of tutorials and blogs and tips and tricks on how to really, really utilize social media. Yeah, we lean on them a lot here at Zing 30 and really enjoy it. HubSpot is another one. HubSpot doesn't necessarily have a social media platform component to it, but they are a great resource for social media information. So again, you know, statistics on how to use social media or where to use it, blogs, tutorials, tips, even content ideas. Yeah, HubSpot is almost overwhelming with the amount of information that they freely give away. Unsplash. We talked a lot about how being visual is very important. Unsplash is a website that has royalty-free stock pictures. And they have a huge library. Almost every image that was in this presentation today actually came from Unsplash. It's a great resource to find images for your social media posts. And lastly, Pixels. Again, Pixels is also like Unsplash. They do, they have a robust picture library that you can pull from. But what's really unique about them is they have the same thing with videos. So you can actually get free licensed videos that you can use within your social media posts or your blogs or anything. And yeah, they're all free of charge. It's just a really unbelievable resource if you're looking to add video to your social media platforms. And that brings us to the end here. We were kind of right on time. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can feel free to email us, give us a call, hop on our website. My direct contact information is here on this page. I will also be taking questions here. Feel free to use the chat box and type them in. You can hang around and listen to the questions. And I will also be sending out a video of this webinar after the webinar is completed. It will include the question section, so you can catch up if you don't have any specific questions. Also, I will be sending out a survey. If you can, please give us some feedback. Let us know how we did, or if this was completely miserable and we shouldn't do it again. Anyway, I thank everybody for attending, and yeah, go ahead and fire away with those questions.